Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm excited to introduce our presentation on understanding measurement systems in water resource recovery facilities. Today, we'll explore the key devices, weirs and flumes, that are essential for accurately monitoring water flows. We'll also discuss how these open-channel flow measurement techniques help us maintain regulatory compliance and optimize treatment processes. Over the next few slides, I'll walk you through the basics and practical applications of these systems, starting with why they are so important in our facilities. Let's get started. Let's talk about measurement accuracy first. When we're measuring water height over a weir, it's important to take the measurement some distance back from the crest. Typically, this distance is about 3 to 4 times the maximum expected head. Why is that? Well, this helps us avoid the effects of drawdown, which is the sloping liquid surface right before the crest that can throw off our readings. Now, moving on to some drawbacks of using weirs. One key issue is that they can trap foam and solids behind them. So, if you're dealing with channels that carry large amounts of debris, a weir might not be the best choice. They're more suitable for cleaner flows, like final effluent, where debris isn't a big concern. Next, let's look at some key considerations when choosing a weir. Triangular, or V-notch weirs, are great for low flow rates and give us high accuracy. Trapezoidal, also known as Cipolleti weirs, are designed to compensate for end contractions, which helps improve measurement precision. Rectangular weirs, on the other hand, provide a uniform flow measurement across the entire width of the channel, making them versatile in many situations. Finally, it's important to understand that weirs are classified by the shape of their opening. The shape affects how the water flows over the crest and how we interpret the measurements. Remember, a weir is essentially an obstruction placed across a channel that forces water to flow over its top edge, called the crest. As water pools behind this obstacle, the height of the water level, or head, increases proportionally to the flow passing over it. This makes weirs valuable overflow measurement devices, since the amount of flow can be determined by measuring this head. Let's take a closer look at some common types of flumes. Trapezoidal flumes are quite versatile because they can be adapted to different channel configurations, making them useful in various setups. The Palmer-Bowlus flume is specially designed for installation in manholes, which is great when space is limited and easy access is needed. The most widely used is the Parshall flume, and it's suitable for a broad range of flow conditions, making it a popular choice in many applications. Now, why are flumes often preferred over weirs? Well, especially when dealing with waste streams that contain a lot of suspended solids and debris, flumes have a big advantage. The high flow velocities in the throat of a flume tend to make them self-cleaning, so they don't clog as easily as weirs might. This makes them ideal for measuring influent flows at wastewater treatment facilities, where incoming wastewater often has significant debris. Moving on to the key advantages of flumes, one important point is how the flow behaves downstream. As the water exits the flume and the channel widens, the velocity decreases, helping to restore normal flow conditions. This feature helps maintain accurate measurements and prevents upstream buildup. Let's quickly review the main sections of a flume. First, we have the converging section, where water enters and speeds up as the channel narrows. This prepares the flow for the throat measurement zone. Next is the throat section itself, which is the constricted part where flow reaches maximum velocity and where we measure the head, essential for calculating flow. Lastly, there's the diverging section, where the flow widens again and velocity decreases, ensuring the flow conditions stabilize downstream. So, to sum it up, a flume is a device integrated into an open channel that creates a specific head by shaping the channel. Unlike weirs, which obstruct flow from above, flumes use a constricted throat to accelerate the water, causing a small rise in water level behind it. That head measurement is what allows us to determine the flow rate accurately. And because of their self-cleaning nature, flumes are especially effective in handling debris-laden waste streams, making them a reliable choice in many flow measurement scenarios. Regular calibration and maintenance are absolutely essential to keep measurement accuracy high, especially given the environmental challenges we face. Mist and vapor, for example, can interfere with signal transmission and return, making readings less reliable. Surface foams are another issue. They can absorb or scatter sound waves, which reduces measurement precision. And then there's air temperature, which affects the velocity of sound waves and can introduce errors if not properly accounted for. While ultrasonic sensors are very convenient, they offer continuous, real-time monitoring. They are not immune to environmental influences. These sensors work by transmitting a sound pulse to the water surface and measuring how long it takes for the echo to return. This allows for automated data collection and remote monitoring, which is a big advantage. However, it's important to remember that the accuracy of ultrasonic measurements depends heavily on proper placement and calibration. For example, with traditional methods like staff gauges, we simply place a ruler-like device directly in the channel to get a visual reading of the water level. While straightforward, this method requires manual observation and recording, which can be less efficient. When it comes to flow measurement, whether using weirs or flumes, the key parameter we focus on is the head or liquid level. Accurate flow calculation depends on measuring this head precisely, and that means the sensor must be placed at the correct, specified location within the structure. Ensuring proper placement is crucial because even small errors in head measurement can significantly impact flow estimates. So, in summary, maintaining calibration and understanding environmental effects are vital to ensuring we get accurate, reliable flow data. Proper sensor placement and regular maintenance help us overcome these challenges and keep our measurements trustworthy.